getting over to some news about the club. I mentioned that Schalke had some positive results that sees the club meet equity and the capital rules. So, what does that mean exactly? We'll read through the article and yeah, let's try to see if it makes any kind of sense to us at all, or any good news or bad news. I'm gonna read through this here. Let's see. Revenue rose to 95 million euros in the 2024 calendar year. The Royal Blues successfully improved the club's consolidated equity capital as required as of the 31st of December 2024 by the necessary 5% to negative 98.1 million euros from the previous year, which was 103.3 million euros negative. So we made that 5%, and so that means all projected developments were achieved. Say what you will, we're still in debt, but we are slowly chipping away, and that was the requirement by us, is to get that 5% improvement, and we did. So that's positivity there. So what does Christina Rulhammers have to say about this? It's exactly what we were aiming for, she says. Fulfilling the net equity capital rule and thereby avoiding a points deduction in the 25-26 season was a major challenge for Schalke, but we did it, thanks in part to an exceptional concert year at the Veltins Arena and remarkable transfer revenue for a Zweite Liga club. See? It's those concerts we talked about. It's that Swift Eras Tour money that we're getting. It helped us in the revenue department, and thus we didn't... we met our goal. Now, I didn't realize that if we hadn't met our 5% goal, that we would be looking at point deductions for next season, but thankfully we reached it. That would have been even more embarrassment of what we've done lately. So let me continue reading on this. On behalf of the board, Rulhammers also explained that meeting this requirement in 2025 and beyond will not be straightforward due to familiar reasons. In 2024, we had to spend around 16 million euros on interest and repayments. At the same time, we were required to achieve a surplus during this period to improve our consolidated equity capital by more than 5 million euros. These figures alone highlight the significant balancing act Schalke must manage. Our top priority is, as always, to allocate a competitive budget for the team to increase the likelihood of a sustainable return to the Bundesliga. At the same time, we must meet our contractual debt obligations, improve equity capital. This threefold approach must work at all times, Rulhammers explained. In the current season, the budget for the squad and staff exceeds 20 million euros. So, what does that mean? I mean, we want to remain competitive, but we don't really have funds to be competitive. Now, are we just happy being in this fight? Like, no, I think it was Tillman who said it 2 years ago, said that Schalke has a 3-year plan to get out of the Bundesliga. Was it him or was it someone else before him? Nonetheless, this is year 2. So if we're going to get into the Bundesliga, next year's the year we're going to have to make that push. Do we have the funds to create a team that's good enough to do that? We'll see. Let's see, continue. In this article says, since 2022, when the club's negative equity capital stood at nearly 110 million euros, Schalke have improved this figure by around 12 million. At the risk of repeating myself, Christina Rulhammer, she says, this is a marathon and not a sprint. We can only improve the negative equity capital through positive results. We've managed to do that in recent years. With the new Auf Schalke EG Cooperative Society launched in early 2025, the club has taken a new approach to supporting long-term financial stability. With the whole whopping 7 million euros that they got, they told us we were going to have St. Pauli money, we were going to have more than that. But, the fans are skeptical about this, and thus we haven't funded as much as they would have expected. So, at least Tillman's recognized this recently. She continues saying, the road ahead won't be easy. Although revenue over the first half of the season reached 95 million euros, previous year was 86.6. This increase was largely due to one-off events including Taylor Swift and Rammstein, their concerts, as well as Schalke's Shakhtar Donetsk Champions League matches that they had since we were hosting them. Which all provide a significant boost. Meanwhile, revenue from sponsorships, media rights, and merchandising declined. Revenue from transfer fees also fell off by around 4.5 million euros. Reading through this real quick, I don't think there's going to be I mean, TV money decreased again due to our sporting performances. Hence why we can't find the Zweite Liga games on ESPN Plus. It's mostly Hamburg and Köln and Kaiserslautern and Hertha. But yeah, that kind of stuff hurts us. But it also on the pitch stuff hurts us equally. It makes everything else like a chain reaction. So yeah, it's a small bit of, it's like a clickbait type of headline by Christina Ruhlhammer's. Yes, we met our goal of reaching 5% equity savings, which also didn't get points deduction as a result for next season. But how competitive are we? We're in mid-table, as we know. We're 11th place at the moment. You know, it's a lukewarm team. Sometimes you win, sometimes you're not, and so you're not going to get anywhere in the Zweite Liga, and heck, you won't even get promoted with a team like that. And so we need more funds there. Tillman, and that, it wasn't in this article, but I saw an interview with him where he mentioned that if we're going to meet our goals in terms of promotion and all that stuff and being a good team on the pitch, we're going to have to spend a little bit more money than we're used to. And so that means we're going to have to find revenue elsewhere to make up for the extra funds that they're going to spend. So that's to be determined. I'll believe it when I see it. We haven't really done that. We spent, a couple €100,000 on Ba this winter. I mean, we spent a whopping, 2.5 million euros on Musasilla, right? So, or maybe it was 4.5 million. Either way, it wasn't that much. It was chump change, honestly, compared to what other teams in this league are doing. So, we'll see. We'll see if we get anything from that, but I'm not too optimistic about that. Let's move on to Q&A. I mean, tell me your thoughts. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this whole savings that we had, quote unquote savings that we had. Do you buy any stock that what Christine Ruhlhammer is saying? Do you feel as positive as she does on the whole situation, the climate, or not? Really curious about that. So